Let's go to Lisa in Hilton Head, back to South Carolina in the South. Hey, Lisa, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Sorry, I don't know how to work the phones. I'm figuring it out.
That's okay.
I don't know how this
That's
job
okay.
works. What's up? How's it going?
Good. We have a college freshman, a rising college freshman, who is due to move into his dorm in literally 2 weeks and has recently come to us and said he is not sure he is ready to go to college yet and would maybe possibly like to take a semester to a year off and work instead. A little background about him is he's had a full-time job since he graduated from high school and has loved working. He loves working full-time. He loves making money. He's also a kid that doesn't like changes. So he's always had to be nudged a little to take risk and do new things. And I guess my question is, my husband and I really value education, and we know that it's much more than just a degree. It's learning to live on your own, learning to live in a dorm with other people. And we want him not to miss out on that experience. But I guess we want to know how to support him to make a good decision without pushing him in one direction or the other.
I love this question, Lisa. So, one, thanks for caring enough about your son to be thinking this way. And two, thanks for calling and asking. I often marvel at my parents. I tried to quit high school athletics when I was a freshman, and they said no. They wouldn't let me quit. And I got all bent out of shape and blah, blah. Ended up being the greatest decision ever. Things I did this morning in the exercises I did this morning, the seeds were planted back when I was in high school. And my little brother quit when he was a freshman. They let him. I got so mad. I think I was in college. I think I was a freshman in college. I was like, you're letting him quit? It's ridiculous. He was a different kid with different experiences and different, right? And they somehow knew the difference. And it was the right decision for him. And so, and he was working out this morning in the gym too. And so all I have to say is this. That's a great intuitive question. Just my gut reaction, having worked with countless college students and countless college parents, my gut reaction to this situation right now is send him and say, we're going to give you an off-ramp if you want it.
Right.
Okay? There's something about, I'm doing this with my daughter now. She would prefer, she was a COVID kid, right? So her formative years, preschool, kindergarten was all at home and masked up. And so now the world's back open and it's like, hey, you got to do an instrument and you're going to have to do jujitsu or a sport. And she's like, I'd rather just sit at home and color. And so so I have to say, okay, do this, but in three months, we're going to give it 90 days. And then if you're done, you're done. And I'm good with that. But I want you to try new things. Of course, she went to her first piano lesson and loved every set, right? So I think you are right to say, we totally hear you. We're going to make you a deal. We're not going to hold it over your head and we're not going to go bananas if you go for one semester and say, I'm out. I can't do this. We'll check in with you. We'll drive down to wherever school is for in 1 month and 30 days and we'll take you out to dinner and we're going to get a pulse on how things are going.
Right.
And maybe some notes on the calendar along the way that give him some landmarks, right? That might be real helpful. And maybe he has to do a couple of things. You're going to have to get involved in one group. Like you have to do one thing, right? With one group of wackadoo college students. You can't just go in your room and play Halo and then in September say you hate it and you want to come home.
Right.
Maybe he's got to get a
we
job
told
or
him
something.
college is what you make it. So you can make it great and get involved and get out of your comfort zone some and do things. And you'll look back on those and those will be the greatest experiences that you ever had, but you wouldn't have had them had you not pushed yourself. So,
but let me catch you on two things. It was your greatest experience ever, and it might be miserable for him. So we have to hold that loosely, right? Going to big crazy concerts with the crowd is all chaotic. Those are some of my most formative, wonderful memories. My son doesn't like it that much, and I keep saying, yeah, but if you just go do it. And finally, it's like, oh no, he's a different, right? Does that make sense? So that your experience, it was the most formative, incredible, and you see other kids have it. That doesn't mean it's his. The other thing is, it's college is going to be what you make of it. Is a really intimidating layout of
Pressure.
it's an intimidating landscape to someone who's had their school lives curated, their home lives curated, their work lives curated. They've never had to
Right.
make it. They don't have that skill.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's
Right.
like putting somebody in the batter's box of a major league pitcher and saying, just swing the bat. It's like, that ball's coming
Right.
90 miles an hour. I don't know what to do with that, right? So it
Yeah.
can feel very much that way. So when we say it's going to be what you make of it, going back to what I said earlier, break it down. Once you get involved in one group, I want you to, I'm going to put a little bit extra money in your account, and I want you once a week, you and your roommate, just go hang out. Go to dinner on me, right? In October, by October 1, you need to have a job, a part-time job somewhere in the community. And let's get involved with the film club, get involved with the drama club, get involved with the intramurals or whatever. You got to do one thing.
Sure.
And that's different than it's going to be what you make of it. I don't even know what that means. Right.
Right. Okay, that's good advice.
As a high school kid, everything, I was all about making it. I was just all about, it is going to be what I make of it. I knew what that meant. Other people that I loved don't have the skills for that. And that's fine. I didn't have skills for sitting down and studying and paying attention. I was too busy having it be what I made of it. Right.
Exactly.
Here's you said something earlier that it's going to be hard for you and your husband, and this is tough. You two value education in a major way. I value education. I spent my life doing it. My wife is a lifelong educator. My son, here's how much we value it. Our son told us never mind. I don't want to say private stuff. I can just say I looked at my wife and I was like, this is what happens when nerds raising nerds, right? We value education. I also have to know that my son may come to me one day and say, I want to be a diesel mechanic. I'm going to be the best damn diesel mechanic that's ever existed. And I'm going to take him out to dinner and say, awesome.
Right.
And I have pictures of him playing Frisbee on the lawn at Stanford. The chances of that happening are very slim. Right?
Sure. Right.
And it won't be intellectual. It won't be like his brain capacity. It's going to be what his life wants to look like. So you guys value it very, very much. I would say it might look different. Education just simply looks different in many corners of the world these days. So don't hold your son hostage to your dreams, or more so your picture of what you think his life is going to look like.
Right.
Does that make sense? And that's so hard.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes, it is hard because you want them, of course, you want the best for them. You want them to do well and be successful in whatever that looks like, whether it's working or college or what have you. But
here's the thing, though. Parents, we don't get credit for this. And I think I've talked about this on the show here. One of the, if you had to have me distill down one of the top 2 or 3 moments I've been most proud of my son, he came to me and my wife at Christmas last year and said, I need to have a family conversation. I think I mentioned on the show, I was like thinking in my head, are you already smoking? Like, really? You're 12, right? And he sat us down, me and my wife, and he said, I would like to ask to not play baseball this spring, but instead I want to be in the school play. I want to do theater.
Oh, good.
And yes, I did theater in college. My whole career is based on acting and theater. Like I was like, yes. And my granddad played baseball. My dad played baseball. I played baseball.
Right.
And it hit me. Oh crap! This is gonna be the first spring we don't do baseball. Like a Delony guys, right? And so I had without even thinking about it, I had created a world where this is what our life is going to look like. And my 12-year-old son bravely sat down and said, I want it to look like something different. And so it's both and. I, as a parent, get to grieve the fact that I had a picture and it's going to be different.
Right.
I get that. If your son does a semester in college and he makes straight C's and he said, guys, right now I'm 18. This isn't it for me. I want to go to mechanics. Does he have something else in mind that he wants to do?
Well, his passion is film and writing scripts and doing like editing.
Awesome.
And there is a school out of state, much more out of our budget, and so that's not really an option right now.
Right.
It could be down the road if he wants to work and match the remaining portion to be able to go there. But to be able to go there immediately out of high school was not going to be an option.
And I think there is some immense value in like a screenwriter's got to learn how to write first, right? And a videographer often has to learn what a story is and what an arc is and take a psychology class and a counseling class and be around wackadoo people and how to manage artists, right? All those things. So I would tell you, and by the way, you can't afford it. So that is what it is.
Right.
I think there's a way, whether there's a film major or a way to be involved in that, to get into your local theater program. There's a way to get into your local fill in the blanks, right?
Right.
There's a way to get that experience while also getting your feet underneath you as a freshman in college, right? So it's not an either or is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And it sounds like, based on what you told me about him, it sounds like he's just getting really cold feet and he's got another idea.
Right. Yes. I think the fact that he's enjoyed working and the fact that he likes making money and he knows what his goal is as far as careers down the road, he's kind of thought, well, I don't want to waste your money and go into this school when maybe I should just go and save my money until I can go to the other school. But we told him, get your degree or at least get 2 years under your belt at the in-state, more affordable school, and then you can reevaluate, from there.
Yeah. I'm a big believer, and I get some pushback on this. I got colleagues that disagree with me, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I don't believe in the phrase that education was wasted.
Right.
People often tell me like, I was so stupid. I got a degree in teaching and now I do this. It was such a waste. And I tell them it was not a waste.
Right. I agree 100% with that. Yes.
Even if it was finding out, if you told somebody, hey, it's going to cost you this much money to find out something that you never, ever, ever want to be a part of, sometimes that's a good investment, right?
Right. Sure.
Because I spent a lot of money chasing things that I'm like, I wish I wasn't doing that. All I have to say is, often the idea of that was a waste of time, that was a waste of money, is a frame of mind.
Right.
My first PhD in education was absolutely, I'm not doing it. I'm not using it at all. And it was one of the most valuable experiences of my life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's
essentially
priceless. You're exactly right.
Right.
But I could also say, oh, what a waste of time, what a waste of money. That was so stupid. It wasn't. But I'm not technically using it, but I'm using it every second of every day, right? All I have to say is, know that that's more for the listener. And I do have a immense bias towards education. I do. And there's a truth there. So you're calling me, ask my opinion. I am biased. I also have worked with thousands of 18-year-olds, and man, they get nervous and they get scared and they think, And I think parental wisdom, especially not parental insane demands and parental, you're going to be a lawyer because it's going to make me feel right. That's not what you're doing. Yeah. You're saying, I know my kid, you need to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's love.
Well, that's great advice.
With a, circling back to the very beginning, let's put some markers on a piece of paper. We're going to come visit you on this day and this day and this day. You're going to have to let us know a group you've joined by this day. If you are in the film club or in the theater department or whatever, we're going to come see you, whatever productions you do. And you and your husband, like, hey, we got a budget for this and figure this out because we're going to go be involved here. And you come home at Christmas and sit down and write us a 3-page essay on why this isn't for you. We're going to read it, and we're taking you out to a fancy dinner, and then we're going to go look at other schools. We're going to go look at other things.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
That's a perfect plan. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that advice.
You're so great, Lisa.
Words of wisdom. I appreciate it.
He is lucky to have you. Parents, all parents listening, it is so okay. It matters okay. It's right. It's good to have a vision, a picture of your kid's life. It's also good and right to say, I know you don't, quote unquote, feel like doing this. I'm your parent. This is what we're doing right now. And it's also wise and good to give your kids choices and options and exit strategies. We often make them either or. Either I go to film school or I do this. I want you to try this. I want you to practice this. I want you to lean into this. Be curious about this. I'm going to foot the bill. I'm going to help out. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to high five you. We're going to throw a party, and then we're going to turn left. And if that don't work, we're going to turn right. but I want you to have these experiences. And I'm your parent, and that's my job, is to be wise and to continue to speak into your life. There's a reason why culturally, all across the world, there's not a mad release of 18-year-olds into the world. There is mandatory military service. There is additional education. There is a time, a natural time when begins to be a separation, where somebody begins to find their adult footing. It doesn't have to be college. It doesn't have to be a 4-year university. It doesn't have to be an Ivy League school. Absolutely not. It can be I'm taking a year, and in this year, I'm just going to work, man. I'm 18. I'm just going to work at McDonald's. I'm just going to work down the street, and I'm going to get my feet under me. I'm going to learn some skills. I'm going to learn some tasks. And mom and dad, I'm going to be hyper intentional. We're going to go to lunch once a week, and we're going to just talk about how you're developing and growing. We're going to read some books together. We're going to do some developmental things. Or you're going straight to the military. You're going to learn some discipline. You're going to learn under the wisdom and tutelage and experiences of other adults in your life. But this idea that you turn 18 and you're free to run the world, it's not safe, it's not smart, and it doesn't make any sense. And culturally, for bajillions of years, we've understood this innately. And over the last 15, 20 years, we've just said, hey, do whatever you want to, whatever feels good. And this also works in reverse, by the way. Some kid says, I'm going to MIT, I'm going to MIT, I'm going to MIT. There comes a moment as a parent and you look at your kid and say, I know you, you're not. Or if you want to pay for it, you can walk out the front door. I can't keep you from doing it, but it's not wise for you. The wisest choice for you is X and Y. And there's all these stories of the kids that are like, I'm doing it anyway. And they go on and start a company and make $1 billion. There's 1 million of those. There's a few of those. I've sat with countless folks, countless over the years, in my office, behind closed doors, heartbroken young people, heartbroken parents who tried to force a thing that wasn't forcible. All I'd say is be intentional with your kid, have them try things, and also give them off-ramps. Most importantly, be intentional, be intentional, be intentional.